Okay, did not know that they only allow 10 minutes, so that's something new. Okay, so they only allow 10 minutes to record at each time, so this is a perfect stopping point there. Alright, well, back to the tea parties. I really do feel like the tea parties should have happened a long time ago. I don't feel like we were hypocrites protesting the Obama administration, but I do feel like that we do not need to stop the Tea Parties. If the Republicans regain control of Congress in 2011 and Obama is only a one-term president, I don't think we should stop the Tea Parties, because we must remember in 1995 the Republicans regained control of Congress with Clinton in power, and the Republicans promised a contract with America, promising us that they would not spend money frivolously, and what happened? Frivolously spent money, especially when Bush got in there and became president. They frivolously spent money on pet projects. They frivolously spent money on programs that helped their own particular interest. Earmarks, the whole 9 yards. Happened, and it happened under the Clinton administration, happened under the previous Bush administration, Reagan administration, and so on and so forth. And so, really, the Tea Parties need to be nonpartisan. We do not need to be partisan when it comes to that, and I don't think that we need to stop the Tea Parties from happening. I just wish that we would have started them. I wish the outrage would have happened a long time ago. It's sad that it takes a government to propose spending over $3 trillion to get people outraged. And I would have, like I say, I would have welcomed the Tea Parties a long time ago. This just goes to show that we need to be more active, we need to be more involved, and it was a beautiful sight. But like I say, my biggest concern is that if the Republicans regain control of Congress in 2011 and regain control of the White House in 2013? Yeah, 2013. Everybody's going to get in their comfort zone again, and that concerns me. And we don't need to get in our comfort zone again. We need to continue to be outraged. This is what caused the Democrats to get back into power in the first place, is because the conservatives felt like there was nobody representing them. And we need to let the Republican Party know, as much as we are letting the Democratic Party know now, that if you abuse our money, we're going to get you out. We're going to vote you out. We're going to get rid of you. And it's a beautiful thing right now that we are starting to see states stand up for their rights, their 10th Amendment rights. It's a beautiful thing to see that. It's a beautiful thing that Texas Governor Rick Perry spoke about states' rights at the Tea Party that he was at. I gained an all new respect for him. I've even gained a whole new respect for Governor Brian Schweitzer of Montana, who is indeed a Democrat. But he has passed forth legislation stating that the federal government cannot touch weapons that are made in Montana, that have a Made in Montana emblem on it, or engraving on it. That if the gun is made in Montana, the federal government cannot touch it. And the state legislature of Montana, and the governor of Montana, Brian Schweitzer, Democrat, signed it, and kudos to him. I have an all new respect for him for doing that. Governor Perry of Texas was criticized, was accused of proposing secession from the Union. It's not what happened. He basically talked about states' rights and the 10th Amendment. States' rights is indeed a 10th Amendment issue. It's in the Bill of Rights. It's the first one of the first 10 amendments is the 10th Amendment to the Constitution. And so to support states' rights, what the left likes to do is they like to witch hunt anybody who talks about states' rights as either being a secessionist or being a racist. And states' rights isn't an issue that just a bunch of Southerners got together and decided to espouse, and dealing with slavery and dealing with racism, even though that was an issue and they used states' rights for that issue. States' rights is constitutional, though. Race discrimination is not constitutional. That's a violation of the 14th Amendment. But states' rights is, and to support states' rights, all you're doing is upholding the 10th Amendment by doing that. So states' rights and talking about states' rights does not mean you're wanting to secede from the Union. Governor Perry just simply brought up the point that, you know what, it may sound like a good idea to a bunch of Texans when asked by a reporter who was trying to spin the story, obviously, and spin what he was saying, spin what Rick Perry was saying. But Governor Perry just simply said, hey, I don't want to secede, but it may but secession might seem like a good idea to Texans if this kind of crap continues. That's what he said, and he did reaffirm that Texas does have a right to secede from the Union. I'll even go a step further in saying that every state has a right to secede from the Union. It's not illegal for any state to secede from the Union. Would it be smart? No. I don't think at this point it would be smart. But supporting states' rights, all you're doing is you're not being a secessionist by supporting states' rights. What you're doing is you're upholding the 10th Amendment, which is as much a part of the Constitution as the First Amendment, which is as much a part of the Constitution as the Fourth Amendment, which is as much part of the Constitution as the 14th Amendment. And some people argue that the 14th Amendment nullifies states' rights. Well, if it nullifies states' rights, then the 10th Amendment would be crossed out of the Constitution, which it's not. So kudos to Governor Perry, kudos to Governor Schweitzer, kudos to all the governors, and even states that I wouldn't have even suspected would stand up to the federal government, which they are doing. States like New Hampshire, New England states, wouldn't expect that. I thought that they would just basically kiss President Obama's butt. And even they are not kissing Obama's butt. A bunch of people are standing up against him. And a bunch of people are seeing him for who he truly is. California, is even standing up. And so kudos to everybody who's doing that. And I think through outlets like YouTube and through outlets like blogs, I think this gives the citizens a voice, more of a voice. And so I say, hey, there's a lot of stupid stuff on YouTube, and some of you may think that this is stupid what I'm doing on YouTube, but there still is a lot of opportunities for people to get on this thing and just voice their opinions, and maybe this will get Uncle Sam to listen to us. I don't know, but this is my 2 cents. I'll be back. I want to talk